here we are with part 2, Kerbal Space Program. Hopefully we can start it off a little better than we ended it last time. Remember last time we had not really a failed launch, but kind of a failed launch at the same time. Ended up saving it, but, you know, like the picture there just showed, Kraken reared its ugly little head, and we'll see what happens today. Goal today is hopefully get some more science, and I really want to try and fly a plane to the island base, or the island landing strip, just to see if anything happens over there, because I know that there's some Easter eggs and stuff over there, and some science to be had. So, and that's really what we need, is the science, so we can unlock some better stuff to get our exploration going. So, as we load up here, this is going to be episode 2 of By the Seat of My Pants, which is basically what I'm doing here. Never really played all the way through like this, so hopefully it works out. Alright. And here we go. Alright, so the last one, we landed, I think, somewhere over in here. And it just was not a very fun experience, I don't think, for old rocketry there. It was a probe launch, so it wasn't terrible. Wouldn't have lost any scientists. So, we're going to go in here, double check. We don't have any active contracts, so let's see what we got. We don't have any plane stuff yet. Atmospheric surveys. I am terrible at these, because you have to go through above a certain altitude at a certain area. So maybe if we can figure out how to do a plane, it'll be a little bit better. Dartboard, waypoint planner. Oh, some of those are a little different. See, and some of these we can do pretty easy for some minuscule science, but we can do them. And then escape the atmosphere and orbit are the other two. So for right now, actually, we're going to go ahead and accept this one, and we're going to accept this one for the TD-06 and the RT-5. That's a quick one. So we'll come in here, and we will load up the last one that we did. You know, if I would have put fins on there, it probably would have been okay. So let's go ahead and aerodynamics, and we'll throw a fin on here, or 3. And then there's the flea, so we can test that one. We've already got it on there. And here is the TD-06. Throw that on there, throw that there, and there we go. And we'll launch away, and we'll see what happens. I'm pretty certain if I test that decoupler at the launch site, then it actually decouples. So I can run that test, but this one doesn't have test. I do have to be at the launch site. And it does say test. Perform to activate the part through staging. Okay, so I just have to activate it through staging. I wonder Huh. Activate the part through staging. Yeah, so. Let's just see what happens. Oh, yeah, it let it go. Hey, I got them both. Alright. The rocket kind of went crazy. But, I mean, all for the best. It's going to go away over there, so it's not going to hit that. I should probably go ahead and stage that shoot, though, so we can save our little capsule here. Save a little bit of money. Where did the booster go, though? Oh, my. It got far enough away we can't even see it. Well, let's go ahead and warp this up. Oh, I heard it go boom. Now, since we got both of those, we can go ahead and get the science and funding from that. And then I think we're going to go ahead and try and make a plane. I've never been good at making planes, but I don't even know if we have the parts, honestly. Oh my. This is about as fun as watching grass grow. Clip there. Okay, almost done. This still bothers me. I don't know what the heck is going on with that, but we'll figure it out. Alright, and recover. So we got that taken care of. We got that. We got the funds. I think we may have earned like 1 science. Surveys. Alright, so I don't know if I want to accept these yet because I think there's some contracts in between. And we don't want to hit any of that advancement staging yet. Where, like if you go into space, it'll start doing more contracts oriented with that. And I still want to see with this Tudor Aerospace. I know there's a lot of stuff like this, like Land on Mar Duna, and Ike and Jewel. So some of that stuff we're not going to be able to do anytime soon. So I'm going to do a cardinal sin here and leave this with no active contracts as of now. We're just going to see if we even have the stuff to build an airplane. So, pods. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any cockpits or anything like that. We don't even have any air intakes or any plane engines at all. So we're going to go ahead and launch into space. Hopefully, try to. See if we can get somebody up there. Well, I say somebody, we're gonna do a Probodobadine here. Launch. Engines. I'm not gonna want to bring that back, so I will go ahead and put decoupler, and then, you know what? Go big or go home, right? We'll launch it like that. Just for old time's sake, we'll throw a couple 2-hots, a couple barometers. I want to bring the capsule home. Well, we could try. I don't have any radial parachutes though, so no. We're just bringing that home. Save as much money as we can early on. We'll throw some fins on it. Three should be adequate. And then that's pretty much it. We will name this one... Oh, this is the shrimp, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, it helps if my cursor stays there. Shrimp jump. Just like the flea, but a little bit bigger. Save. Yeah, because see, usually I have those other launch sites open, but it doesn't give me any... Oh, it does if I just hover over it for a second. Huh. Well, we're just going to stay here anyway, so maybe we'll launch off of some of those later. I know that the desert sites got that pyramid Easter egg. We'll probably check that out here later. And staging's good. We don't have any throttle because it's a solid booster. Fire away. There's no SAS on this little Stay-Putnik here, and there's no pilots, so I don't really have any control over where it goes. So hopefully the rocket doesn't come down on top of the Space Center here and we gotta spend money to repair something. It's kind of hard. It's almost to the point where you gotta want to destroy something for that to happen, because I mean the planet's rather large. And we were gonna break the atmosphere into space, but that apoapsis is coming down pretty quick. I don't know if we're gonna make it to actual space. It's got to be above 70,000. Yeah, it's getting off. The air's awful thin up here, though, so I don't know if we'll make it or not. We can get some science up here because we are now in the upper atmosphere. So we'll go ahead and keep those. And I wonder if I stage, if it'll throw my capsule a little higher, because I'll be losing weight. Well, looks like that speed slowed down, so we're going to go ahead and just wait, because I know we'll go into space and then I'll be able to get the other science. So we're going to go ahead and warp here a little bit. And we're in space. Alright. Do these other two sciences. We'll go ahead and at the apoapsis we'll stage, which was 789. There it goes. So that'll give us the least probability to come back into that rocket, hopefully, because that explosive force on the decoupler actually threw us a little bit higher and it pushed that back down. So we are on a different re-entry course between those two. So that's good. I do know that when you're plotting long distance stuff, like when we go to Duno or Joule or Eve or any of that stuff, small, what you would think of as a small decoupling like that or a stage can drastically alter your course over a long distance like that by thousands of kilometers. So we're coming down. I've already staged that, so now we gotta wait. We're definitely gonna hit the grassland this time. Yeah, see, now we were on a different trajectory, so that we passed the booster, but It was way up there. I don't know if that wind resistance really needs to kick in, or we're not going to be able to save this pod. And we'll lose that science. We're slowing down pretty quick, so we should make it. We'll change this to actual instead of sea level. Yep, there we go. We slowed down quite a bit. I am, however, gonna modify this a little bit because I don't want to wait as long. It's pretty light, so we're gonna throw it at 500 feet instead of, or meters, 500 meters instead of 1,000. Go ahead and physics warp this up a little bit. I will slow it down because I know when you're trying to stage, some funky stuff happens. That's usually when old Kraken likes to come out. And then the chute should open there. That'll bounce around because we don't have SAS or anything. Alright. I would say that it's a successful launch. And there we go. We go ahead and recover this, and we'll get our science from that. Ooh, yeah, 46. All right. And we're rolling in it now. And that's expensive. We are going to have to upgrade some of this stuff before we really get on the MUN, or really this one is the one so we can perform EVAs and place flags, which is going to be very important for later on. Well, I say later on, it's not too far off, really. Oh, man, I think I boned us. Yep, I missed that contract. Well, that's what I get, I guess. We're not going back now. Well, while we're here, might as well go ahead and accept it, because I know I'm going to do it before I forget. We got these for testing, surveys. Alright. Well, I screwed the pooch on that one. Missing that. But we have 81, which I don't... We got survivability, which gives us some of these other modules, radial drogue chute and radial mount chute. And it finally gives us the Mark 1 command pod, which will let us send somebody up other than a probe launch. Which, early on, a lot of our stuff is probe launch. So, I don't know if we want to get that one. There's no pods in any of that stuff. Basic construction. See, right here, aviation gives us our crew cabin and our Mark 1 cockpit. And a couple airplane parts. Alright. So actually what I'm going to do to speed up the science, because there's basic science down here that we're going to need. Finally get the mystery goo. But I think we're going to go ahead and get this one first. just so we can get that Mark 1 command pod and the heat shields. So we'll get that one. And we're going to go ahead and put our first Kerbal into space. So I'm going to go with new pod, Mark 1. And we'll send Ojeb up. That's a good pick. We have some liquid fuel, but I do know that this will, well, no, I can't say that that will, because this one here weighs a lot less than the Mark 1 command pod. Its dry mass is 0.8 tons, and the dry mass of this one is only 0.05. So I don't think that this will give us enough delta V to get up there. So we're going to go ahead, throw a coupling on there. That's probably not the best idea, but hey, you know, early on in the systems, in the program, some risks got to be taken. That's gonna be a crazy wiggle point. I just know it. We'll throw a couple of these on here. Yeah. Then we will throw. We already got the stuff from up there. It just wouldn't feel right without sending one, so we'll send them up there just because we're bringing them back, so we're not going to lose them. And for sake of symmetry, we'll put one on each side. Utilities here. We just need that Mark 1. That's pretty much it. We'll throw an engine on here, some fins, swivel, and the Valiant. So the thing always to look at here is the thrust ASL and the thrust VAC. So the ASL is at sea level and VAC is in vacuum. You're always, I want to say always, going to have a better thrust ratio or thrust force in vacuum than you will at sea level, because you'll have, you know, at sea level, you've got atmosphere and wind resistance and gravity, all that type of stuff. So that's not going to thrust you as hard as it will in vacuum. So the Valiant is a good starter engine for, you know, just getting up there. We're going to go ahead and use the swivel, though, because the gimbal. So if you're looking down here, the gimbal, we actually have this, which means that that engine can swivel and move to help steer and guide where we're going. And I really want to get out over the water, or at this point, honestly, any direction other than the shores of Kerbal, which is the biome we're in now. This one here also has gimbaling, but I don't think it's going to be strong enough to lift us up off of the ground. So we're going to go ahead and use this one. You know, I bet it would be strong enough, but I don't know. Like I said, go big or go home, right? And even though it's got some gimbal, we're going to go ahead and throw some fins on it just to be safe. Got those. I do not like the way that looks. We'll put the snap on there. That looks a little straighter. Alright. And we're going to name this one First Kerb. So the first Kerb up in space. hopefully up in space. Not missing anything, right? We got the engine, we got the fuel, we got the decoupler, Jeb's in there, got the parachute, staging. Yep. And launch. Alright. And now, since we do have a pilot, which Jebediah is a pilot, we can use SAS to help keep us a little more on course. We'll go ahead and get this crew report. And while we're here, we can go ahead and do an EVA report. Give us another little bit of science. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? I mean, I don't need the attitude, Jeb. Come on. And we'll go ahead and reboard. Now with this one being fuel and not solid booster, we are going to have to use our throttle here. I'm going to go ahead and turn on SAS, and because he hasn't leveled up or anything down here, he only has access to just the stability assist, which just whatever way we point him is the way we're going to go. Everything's ready. Go. And now once we hit 100, we can start arcing over a little bit for a ascent profile and keep this dot right here inside of our prograde circle. This symbol right here is called prograde. It's the direction we're traveling. Oh, I went outside of a little bit. We got lost some stability there. But I don't think we're gonna make it to space anyway. Yo, yeah, we're not gonna get anywhere close to space. Well, I said that. It's starting to go up a little bit faster here. Oh yeah, we got down into the thinner atmosphere. Oh yeah. We'll make it. We'll make it quite a ways, honestly. There we go. We're gonna go ahead though and stage that off, stage the parachute, let the wind resistance hit that thing, slow it down, and we will continue on our ballistic course. I'm gonna check the map here. Where are we gonna land? There's our island airfield. Yeah, just out in the middle of the water somewhere. It's honestly probably gonna be closer to over in here, just because of when we start coming down, slowing down through wind. It'll be alright. So, yep, we've hit space. We're going to go ahead and real quickly do an EVA. Oh, but we can't. Nope. Yeah, we got to upgrade that astronaut complex. I wonder... We're going to try something. Try something a little crazy here. I'm going to go back into here. We're going to see if we can upgrade that on the fly. So the astronaut complex, we're going to upgrade that. And then we'll go into the tracking station and reconnect back to Jeb up there. Oh, Gene. First curb. Fly. And we'll reconnect back to Jeb. Hopefully he's not too far off course. Well, he's on a ballistic course, but he's not too far. Oh yeah, see, we're still good. Oh, cool. We can do it on the fly. We'll go ahead and get an EVA report from up here. And I wonder if we can take that data and then reboard. If it'll let us do it will let us do a new crew report. All right. And I don't think, yeah, we don't have any diminishing returns off of that. We've gotten as far as we can. So, I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up till we hit the atmosphere again. And now because of our shape, we should be pretty close. Oh no, I want to go retrograde. There we go. That could have been potentially hazardous. Why am I? Oh, that's because I'm... There we go. Alright. Because of our shape, we should be pretty aerodynamically sound to catch the air and have it keep us on a fairly ballistic course. So, as I turn off the SAS here, and we switch to surface mode, yeah, it's keeping us fairly well. There's a little bit of a wobble, but honestly nothing to worry about. This one's a little heavier, but still, I'm going to go ahead and put it at 500. We'll see what happens. What's the worst that could happen, right? I can get a new temperature scan over here. Oh, because we're in a different biome. I always thought those parachutes looked kind of funny. Go ahead and speed it up. Fully deployed. Whoa. That was a little close. I don't know if I'll do that again. And splashdown. And since we're in the water, go ahead and get some more science here. Atmosphere. It's awful choppy out here. I don't know if I want to try an EVA in the water. Hey, he's got a spacesuit on. He won't drown. Get another EVA report. Reboard. And recover. Alright. Alright, we got another 35 science. Got some money back. Jebediah is ready for a new assignment. I'm kind of surprised, honestly, he didn't get more XP out of leaving the atmosphere. Oh, but he got a bunch of ribbons. 10 or more science points. EVA in the water. Splashdown. First landing on Kerbal. This, because, yeah, that was our first manned launch. Kerbal launch, whatever you want to call it here. G-force ribbon. Withstand the acceleration of 5 Gs for 3 or more seconds. First Kerbal EVA. First EVA in space. Dangerous EVA. Oh, for while not in a stable orbit. Yep. First Kerbal in space. Distance greater than 10 kilometers. And speed recorded greater than 100 meters per second. Alright. Good job, Jebediah. And now, because of that, we can get our... kind of torn. I know I want to do some plane stuff, but we need the science. So we're going to go ahead and do the science one. Because that's what progresses us through this rather massive tree here. So, I think our next step, we have to orbit. That would be the next one. Part testing on an escape trajectory. Testing the heat shield. Radial decouplers. Alright, well, we have this one. And once we orbit and we get some more science, we'll be able to unlock some of these antennas here. And we have to orbit Kerbin before it'll even start to think about giving us these. But once we unlock like some of these antennas and the mappers, we can start doing some ScanSat stuff and setting up a relay network so we can send our first probe to the Mun and Minmus. I always think that landing on Minmus, honestly, is easier than landing on Mun first. Yes, it's at a different inclination. So like if you look here, you can actually see that the Mun is on an equatorial line with Kerbin. So you can launch straight up, line it up. Once you, the old trick is once you're in orbit, you line up the Mun up here at 12 o'clock, and then you go back to your ship, and when you see the Mun rise over the atmosphere, you start accelerating on prograde, and then it'll kick your orbit out here, and you can just kind of eyeball it. You don't need a maneuver planning or anything. So honestly, you can get to the Mun pretty early on. But if you see Minmus up here, it has an inclination. And if I remember right, it's like 3 degrees or 5 degrees or something like that. I was wondering if this would say 6 degrees. So you can either, if you have MechJeb unlocked that far, you can set it up to launch you at a 6 degree inclination, so you don't have to do a lot of extra stuff later on. But it's not really that difficult to launch up equatorial, elongate your orbit, and try and match it up where this purple line right here meets, because that will be like your ascending descending node depending on which way you're going. And then once you get it out there, it's a lot cheaper for Delta V to change that inclination and then just circularize and meet up with Minmus out there. So I think our next goal needs to be in orbit so we can start unlocking more stuff. And we have that. That was interesting. Have that science unlocked, so we'll be able to start getting a lot more science. And I think on the next episode we're going to revisit the car, because we have the Science Junior and the Mystery Goo, so we can actually drive over here, visit this stuff, and get a lot more science. So I think that's going to be it for this episode. Y'all have a fantastic week.